Hello guys, and this is the Sony E3 conference. I know it's a bit late that I haven't done it yet, but I did Nintendo's and Microsoft's first. I did miss the Sony E3 conference, and this is my review over my thoughts and feelings over it. But I'm gonna first off start off what they showed off. So I got my list here ready to tell you guys. So first off was the PlayStation intro. You know, like PlayStation always start off with massive, when they start a conference they always show like massive intros, and then Jack Trent came out after the intro and they talked about the PS Vita and what kind of games were going on it. You got Batman Origins, Counter Spy, sort of a cartoon game, Doki Doki Universe, Tearaway, and God of War HD 1 and 2. There was one more game that I missed out. I did miss out on that. Then they showed off Final Fantasy X1 and X2 coming out on the PS Vita, and Dead Nation and The Walking Dead on Vita, and then also said what kind of features that the PS Vita was going to get, such as Skype and Netflix. And then they went into the PS3, showed off Last of Us, Puppeteer, Rain. Not much of Puppeteer, was more of like a Little Big Planet game, but 2D side scroller, looked decent. Then they showed a game on the PS3 called Rain. Not sure what kind of gameplay it is. It was just, I guess it's ghosts that can only be seen in Rain. You see like this sort of like a child character, but you don't actually get to see the face, but only see the sort of like the figure of what he looks like, because it only shows it when it's raining. Then it shows Beyond Two Souls, Gran Turismo 6. Kind of like shown all this, and not much that is to talk about. Gran Turismo 6 does look like it's improved on graphics and also sort of like tracks, and also a couple kind of like brand new cars. Then they showed Batman Origins coming on the PS3. Then Grand Theft Auto package, where you could buy a PlayStation 3 and get some special content with Grand Theft Auto 5. That comes out this year. Then we come to the good news, such as the PS4. They review what the PlayStation 4 looks like. The PlayStation 4, how do you say it? It's tilted in a way, like from a rectangle, but it's tilted to, I can't remember the shape name, but it's sort of tilted. It doesn't look that bad, to be honest. It does look quite big. When you compare it to the Xbox One, we need to actually see the measurements on this thing. I don't know. I think it might be smaller than Xbox One, but some people are saying it's the same size, but I have my doubts. I think it might be smaller. Then they show off like the media services on PlayStation 4, what you can do, what kind of like I said in my old previous conference, like the sort of social media, share your games, play your games online instantly, blah blah, no loading screens, stuff like that. Then they show off Sony Entertainment, where music unlimited and video unlimited, so it allows you to play music and watch any movies you want to with the Sony Entertainment system, and you'll be able to stream between Android phones and the iOS systems, so tablets, smartphones, laptops, everything else. Then they said Flickster was coming on to the PS4, so sort of like movies you already bought, you'll be able to save onto your cloud service on Flickster. Then Shu Yoshida came out and told us that there's 12 brand new IPs come onto the PS4. They only showed one of those IPs, and that was the Order 1866, sort of like a Resistant game, but brand new, sort of like 1866 century, where they use modern technology in that era. Looked pretty decent. Remind me of Resistance and sort of like a bit of Assassin's Creed, but not Assassin's Creed where it's stealthy, where it's like you're shooting aliens and it's all action packed. Then they showed off the four exclusives that are coming out for PS4 that they've already showed. That was Killzone Shadow 4, Drive Club, Infamous Second Son, and Knack. Those were the games that they showed off. And then they said that actually Killzone, Drive Club, and Knack were coming out on day one release on the PS4, but Infamous Second Son will come out in 2014. Then you had Dark Sorcerer, sort of like a, I would say, sort of like a movie game. I guess they were like, sort of like showed the generation of the old guy from PlayStation Conference, and they kind of said it was a game, but it's like a sort of a movie area the guy was doing. It's like a Dark Sorcerer, but I guess it's just we have to see more on that. I'm not really sure. Then Adam Boys came out, showed us. I can't remember what Adam Boys was. Can't remember, but I remember Witness. Then they showed Witness was a game, sort of like a journey, but sort of puzzles, and also so you've got things to discover. Then they showed off Transistors, another gaming company that made another game that I forgot, I can't remember. Then indie developers came out and showed what kind of indie games would come into the PlayStation 4 platform. I reckon it's a brilliant idea for Sony to put indie games into their conference, was because that indie developers have full access to go onto Sony and create games for their console. And that is amazing, because if they allow the indie developers to go into a Sony PS4, just imagine how many mini games they could put onto the PS Vita, and that would be amazing. I hope indie developers won't just make games for the PS4. I hope they start making games on the PS Vita as well. Then they showed off Diablo 3. Diablo 3, they have exclusive Sony content on them. Then Square Enix came out and showed off 2 games. Finally, Final Fantasy Versus is coming out, 13. I think it's renamed to Final Fantasy 15. And then, for the love of God, finally Square Enix, finally the game that everyone has been waiting for since 2008, Kingdom Hearts 3, was released. Well, showed a trailer at finally. How many generations, how long has people been waiting for that game? Then they showed off the new Kingdom Hearts HD remix will come out on the 10th of September 2013. Europe and America, I guess, is out in Japan. I know that for a fact. I was in Hong Kong recently. I did see that out. Then they had Final Fantasy that was 14, that was exclusive to PS4. Then you got Then they showed off Assassin's Creed Black Flag. There was loads of glitches while they're playing on that game. That may have been because the game might not finish developing, or maybe something wrong on stage. We don't know. Then they showed off Watch Dogs. That was amazing. I think loads of people have seen enough gameplay of that. And then they showed off Elder Scrolls Online. I'm excited. Bethesda, if people play the Skyrim, then people are gonna like Elder Scrolls Online. Then they showed off Mad Max, another exclusive. I think it was exclusive, but I'm not 100% sure. Then Jack Tretton came back out and kind of like ripped into Microsoft by saying no DRM, no need to check in on your online games. It was just crazy how the fans just reacted and just said, oh, Microsoft, you have to do this, and PlayStation, you don't have to do any of that. It is a console where you can have fun with. Then they say you have to pay online. That sucks. That does suck, because PlayStation Network was free, and now they're saying PSN has to cost. Then they show off Destiny, and Destiny reminded me of a sort of Halo meets Borderlands, and then PSN and Gaikai. I think Gaikai allows you to choose PS3 libraries to play onto your PS4. And then the price tag of the PS4, oh my god. I am shocked. Less than £100 cheaper than the Xbox One. 450 quid for the Xbox One. 350 quid for the PS4. That is just ridiculous for a console that has better RAM than the Xbox One to be that price. It is quite ridiculous, to be honest. I couldn't believe what I saw. Then it was the end of the conference, and to be honest, this conference was good. Sony did a good job handling what they were meant to do. They showed games, they showed what it could do, they showed basically the price tag, they showed the console. I reckon it was a good conference, and I am really excited about the new PS4 because 349, that is cheaper than the PS3 when the PS3 came out. There are so many games that is coming onto the PS4 that I want. Metal Gear Solid Phantom of the Pain, that is multi-plat. I know that's coming on Xbox One, and I know that's coming on PS4, but I want it on the PS4. But to be honest, it was a good conference. There was nothing wrong with it. The only thing that I reckon they could have improved was the PS Vita, to say that indie developers were gonna start putting indie games on there. Because if that happens, then the PS Vita is not just a console where it doesn't have games. It would have games continuously, but for the casual market, and people will start to buy the PS Vita because Nintendo knows how to get the casual market on the Nintendo 3DS. PS Vita needs to do the same. Start to get a couple of like indie developers into the PS Vita, then people will start buying that. I swear to God. But the thing is, it has limitations such as no HTML5. I reckon it's time for Sony to put HTML5 on the PS Vita to allow people to go on anything they want to. It is such a powerful device if it can remotely play PS4 games, because that's what they keep saying, and I want to see that it's possible that the PS Vita is able to play PS4 games and it has HTML5. And I did do a video about getting Android, but I hope PS Vita gets apps. I want PS Vita to get apps so that the system can sell well, because loads of people wants to buy tablets, and if the PS Vita can prove that it's not just a handheld console, it can prove that it can handle Android apps as well, then people will start buying one. People will actually start looking away from tablets and start buying PS Vita. But Sony, good conference, nothing wrong, and I think out of all three conferences, it was Sony, Nintendo, then Microsoft. And why do I say Microsoft? Because Microsoft is making you pay. Well, if it includes Sony, but the thing is, they're making you pay extra fees, even for used games, and come on, man. And you have to have the console online 24 hours. But this is the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be doing videos soon. Catch you guys later.